Sangam is a sacred space. 2 rivers or 3 rivers meeting together is always a sacred space in India. This is a space for ideas and practices. People come together for 3, 4, 5 days and do these exchanges and collaborations and joint visioning of what would be a better India. Some of us have been working on critiquing the destructive forms of development that we have. When we do the opposition and resistance to these kinds of things, we are also wondering or asking ourselves, okay, what is the alternative? What are our solutions? If you're saying no to what the government is telling us or what, and so the search for alternatives. What we've found in the last 10 years is that when people come and share and then they learn from others, they get a boost of morale because they realize they're not the only ones who are struggling in this way or trying out something differently. So they're able to learn from each other and build collaborations. Across the world, there are thousands of initiatives by communities to try and solve their own problems. But the problem is 3 or 4. One, there's very little documentation of these, so most people don't even know that they exist. Secondly, very little outreach of what's happening on the ground. Third, very little interconnections between them. So often they feel isolated when there might be even in the next district there might be another 5 initiatives, but they don't necessarily have the connections. Fourth, when they do advocacy for something, if they're alone, nobody's going to listen to them. But if there's 100 of them, there's a greater chance of being heard. So much more interesting is to do narratives which are, storytelling by the people themselves, if possible, or by us about them through different media, articles, films, podcasts, etc.
So our intention with this meeting was that people are able to hear, because what happens is that when we are in our own struggles of self-governance or doing different work, we feel that we are very alone in our struggles. There's nothing else, there's nobody else facing these kinds of issues. But when you hear each other's stories, you realize that, oh, all of us are in this similar struggle. So we can hold each other's hand and walk together. And that would mean that we can learn from each other, from our experiences.
Sometimes when you are working in like such like activism, sometimes you get disheartened, sometimes you get frustrated, sometimes you get really disappointed. But when when others share the stories, their success stories, so it really gives us the motivations and inspiration to work more going back home.
Vikalp Sangam's framework note is more of a live, dynamic note. Framework note actually contains what we call the flower of transformation. The flower of transformation actually has the basic values, the principles, and also contains in different sectors what has been the experience so far from which we can build on or learn from.
You are talking about the 5 petals of transformation, all embedded in the values, and I think it's somehow supporting the values that I believe, whether it is dignity, whether it is compassion, justice. I think that brings us together, because we believe that unless we are embedded in the universal values, then somewhere the work will go meaningless.
Although many of us are part of different organizations, different collectives, I think what we are really trying to articulate is not some marginal alternative, but actually speaking to what is the necessity of majority of India and the earth, in fact. If we really must sustain the planet, if we really must sustain the people living on the planet, the resources, whether it is the forests, the rivers, the oceans, and also all other non-human beings, and maintain this harmonious equilibrium, this is the way to go. So yes, to more Sangams, more power to the Vikalp Sangam process, and we hope more people and more groups will engage with the flower of transformation.
हमारे समुदाय की महिलाएं हैं, उनके साथ मिलकर एक संगठन हमने बनाया है, तो मालधारी महिला संगठन उसका नाम है। उस संगठन की कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग का काम मैं देख रही हूँ अभी, और कैसे कंजर्वेशन में, ग्रासलैंड कंजर्वेशन में महिलाओं की भागीदारी बढ़े, उस पर काम कर रहे हूँ। तो यहाँ आके मुझे लगा कि हमारे सबके, जैसे लद्दाख के जो इश्यूज़ है, शायद वो मेरे यहाँ पर भी वही इशू है, बस उसकी तीव्रता में थोड़ा सा फ़र्क है। तो बहुत बड़ा लर्निंग ये रहा है कि इश्यूज़ तो थोड़े अंतर पर सेम है, पर उसके उकेल के तरीके भी यहाँ आके जानने के, तो ये मुझे लगता है सबसे अच्छा मेरा लर्निंग रहा है यहाँ पर। दूसरा सबसे अच्छा फूड शेयरिंग जो हो रहा है सबके साथ, खाने का शेयरिंग हो रहा है। कोई दिल्ली से कुछ लेके आया है, कोई महाराष्ट्र से कुछ लेके आया है, कोई ओरोवल से कुछ लेके आया है। तो मुझे लगता है कि लर्निंग के साथ जो अपने खाने का शेयरिंग है, अपने कपड़े का जो शेयरिंग है, जो ट्रेडिशनल सिस्टम का जो शेयरिंग है, वो सबसे बढ़िया रहा। आमतौर पर कॉन्फ्रेंस होती है, वहाँ इश्यूज़ के बारे में चर्चा होती है, पर ये जो शेयरिंग्स होता है वो बहुत कम रहता है।
ओय हमारा देश मारे आया मरण जलम नती अवतारे आया जलम मरण गलपानी ना खाकरा
ट्रेडिशनल ड्रेस जो लद्दाख का है, हमने फुल ड्रेस यहाँ लेके प्रेजेंट करने की कोशिश किया और बाकी लोगों ने भी अपनी तरफ से वहाँ अपने अपने इलाके के हिसाब से गाना गाए थे और ड्रेस भी पहने थे।
I work in Tribal Health Initiative. I've been working here for the past 30 years. I'm a medical doctor by profession, but for the past 3 or 4 years I'm more involved with community development and organic farming. We are also into medical education in the sense that we provide a space for young medical students to come and spend time with us. We organize camps and they come here and spend time with us to see what rural health work is about and how exciting it is, and it's not only city hospitals which are doing good work.
In 1980 or around that, जो चिपको में जो एक्टिविस्ट थे, stopping green felling over 1000, तो उसके बाद most of this group particularly, they returned to their respective villages. They didn't return to their respective professions. Some of them, I mean, Vijay Jardhari used to run a stationery shop. Dhoom Singh Negi was a teacher. So like this, they did not return to their old occupations or professions, but they returned to their village. अपने अपने गांव रह के उन्होंने कहा हम गांव में ही रहेंगे और गांव में रहते हुए ही हम इन मुद्दों की बात करेंगे।
तो चिपको शब्द उन्होंने कैसे दिया? खड़ा उठा भाई बंदो सब इकट्ठा होला, सरकारी नीति से जंगलू बचौला। खड़ा उठा भाई बंदो सब इकट्ठा होला, सरकारी नीति से जंगलू बचौला। बीज बचाओ आंदोलन पर्यावरण को समझने का एक आंदोलन है और वो भी विविधता के साथ। तो विविधता खत्म हो रही थी, उस विविधता को वापस लौटाने का काम किया है उत्तराखंड में। इस दिशा में विकास जा रहा है, ये असली विकास नहीं है। असली विकास तो यहाँ के पारंपरिक ज्ञान में छिपा हुआ है, यहाँ के खान पान में छिपा हुआ है, यहाँ की नदियों के प्राकृतिक बहाव में छिपा हुआ है, यहाँ के हिमालय के ग्लेशियर में छिपा हुआ है। और अगर ये नहीं रहेगा तो जो जिस विकास को और हम आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, ये एक दिन पूरे ब्रह्मांड को ही खत्म कर देगा।
अपना इंडिविजुअलिटी को अपने आप में खो जाते हैं कि हम बाकी चीज़ों के बारे में सोच नहीं पा रहे हैं जो उसमें इंटरकनेक्टेड है, चाहे वो नेचर हो, चाहे नदी हो, चाहे पहाड़ हो या मेरे पीयर्स हों। विकल्प मौजूद हैं, हमारे आसपास ही मौजूद हैं। हम जो बदलाव की बात कर रहे हैं वो है, तो मेरी एक आर्ट संगम हो सकता है। आइडिया निकल गया आर्ट फॉर अल्टरनेटिव करके। आई थिंक आई एम गोइंग टू वर्क ऑन दैट। मुद्दों से जो है मूल्यों तक का सफ़र है और संगम का जो प्रोसेस है वो ब्रिज है।
जो विकल्प संगम में आके हमारी अंडरस्टैंडिंग टुवर्ड्स कंजर्वेशन, टुवर्ड्स लाइवलीहुड, टुवर्ड्स लोकल गवर्नेंस ये एक्सपेंड होगी। मेरा काम अगर किसी को सीखना है वो भी सीखता है, मुझे अगर किसी से सीखना है वो भी मैं सीख रहा हूँ। तो ये जो क्रॉस लर्निंग का प्लेटफॉर्म है ये हमें विकल्प संगम फैसिलिटेट करता है।
All the capacity that you have within you as an individual, as a human being, to basically use that capacity for your own good, for the good of your community and for the good of the larger environment, ecology that is surrounding you. Vikalp Sangam being this confluence of all of these alternatives in other Himalayas and other regions. So we found a lot of synergy between what Mool is trying to do and what Vikalp Sangam is already doing, and that is how the two initiatives kind of got into this conversation, and we became a part of Vikalp Sangam. Collaboration is the way forward. Organizations cannot exist in vacuum. You know, we have to be out there. We have to learn. We have to network. I think just expand the vision that we have of reaching out to more people, especially young people, because they are going to kind of row the boat, coach them, mentor them, build initiatives, build ventures, especially around ecological entrepreneurship, so that they are able to actualize their potential, because we know it's there.
Our educational institutions are failing our youth. They are not giving them, they are only catering to the markets. They are skilling you. They are not making you wise. Children are looking for other alternatives.
For me, I think in Vikalp, it is the most inclusive space I've seen. Been trying to really be patient and bring everybody together. I think that's what brings me here and keeps me connected with Vikalp. And the opportunity to also meet so many networks, so many organizations who have been doing so much of good work in their own communities. The possibilities of knowing people all over India really energizes me, gives me more hope about this network.
Understand the context, understand youth first. Who are they? And asking them right questions. हम सही सवाल करते ही नहीं है, इसलिए जवाब मिलता नहीं है। और यूथ में वो आदत ही नहीं, वो दे गो इन वेरी व्हाट यू कॉल अ फैशन वेयर, दुनिया जो सोचती है ऐसे सोचते हैं, अलग हटके सोचने के लिए यू कैन यूज क्रिएटिव वेज ऑफ एंगेजमेंट, सही सवाल करना, एंड इमेजेस मेक अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंस। इमेजेस हैं, स्टोरीज हैं, इफ यू बिगिन विद अ स्टोरी दैट सेट्स अप कॉन्टेक्स्ट इन माइंड क्लियर, देन दे स्टार्ट थिंकिंग ओह दिस इज पॉसिबल। बट डिफिकल्ट इज हाउ टू दे नेविगेट विद देयर पेरेंट्स, विद द सोसाइटी and their own aspirations. उसको कैसे हम उनको हेल्प करें? So there's a need for a lot of support systems.
I think there is this disconnect between the generations, and there is it's very important that we connect the two generations, the younger and the elder generations, because the younger generation will be having a lot of aspirations, and like sometimes we may even overlook what is near us or what is holding us. And the elders are somebody who has grown, who has lived with experiences, and I think it's important that we bridge that and we make sure that the wisdom, the knowledge about the land, the water, the forest are passed to the younger people.
We have a lot of opportunities and scope for educating and raising awareness among the youth and children who are the future. And if you talk about the future generations, they should be educated and made aware about all these issues that we are facing today, so that they don't have to go through the same kind of problems that we have gone through. And once they understand that when they are at positions, when they have to make major decisions, they would be able to make decisions without much of a problem, because they have had knowledge about those things.
So I think one of the things that comes out of my interaction with Vikalp Sangam is that there are many people who are actually doing really good work that we weren't aware of earlier. I mean, not just in the Himalayan region, but even across the country. So for sure there was a need to connect all these success stories in various fields. I mean, our main work is in nature conservation, but there's so many other fields where people are doing great work. And this Vikalp Sangam provides a platform for them to talk about their story, talk about alternatives, and inspire other people to take those up. So that for sure is a learning. The second learning, of course, is that collaborative work is hard. I mean, Vikalp Sangam in the Western Himalayas has been around now for at least 8 years, maybe longer. And I can tell you we are still struggling. I mean, we do collaborate, we meet, there's a meeting of minds, but collaborative action on the ground, much harder to do. So I think these are things that we are still figuring out, and time will tell as to how successful we are and how we can actually make it work.
There was this one small dukan in Uttarakhand where I saw this written, उधार प्रेम की कैंची है, कलयुग का जमाना है, तुझे उधार देकर मुझे क्या कमाना है. So like there are things like this being written on shops, just taking it for granted that we can't trust the other person. At the same time, there are people who are working with a sense of trust and just working through that sense of trust. What we are basically saying is that there are certain values of goodness that have always existed, but that have somehow been confused or boggled over or lost, and we need to reclaim them.